RPGs have become one of the primary genres within the PS4's library, and the rest of 2017 is going to give you many more to pick from. In this video, we'll be taking a look at the top 10 upcoming PS4 RPGs for the rest of 2017. Let's get right into this. Number 10, Vampyr. Vampyr is an action RPG revolving around a character named Jonathan Reed, a doctor turned into a vampire. Coming to terms with his new condition, he must deal with being torn between his former self and his new nature. The game is very interesting. You don't have to kill to finish the game. It's a very promising title. We don't get quality vampire games too often, so hopefully this turns out to be something good. Vampyr releases in November.
If we were unable to beat this mini-boss, we would be tempted to return to the bar, and perhaps feed from Tom for a greater experience boost, returning stronger, but with London thinning in numbers. Vampyre's combat system uses a mix of melee and ranged weapons supported by vampire abilities that allow you to be the vampire you want to be. The gameplay is based on timing, positioning, and management of different resources. The stamina bar regulates your melee moves and dodges, the blood bar controls the use of your supernatural abilities, and the health bar represents your health. There are many areas to explore, loot, and pick up.
Number 9, Pyre. Pyre is an action RPG being developed by Supergiant Games, the guys most famous for the excellent indie games in Bastion and Transistor. Pyre takes place in a high fantasy setting, and you control an exile that meets 3 other exiles who upon finding have the player character join. Artistically, the game is gorgeous, and given Supergiant's other works, Pyre will probably turn out to be something great. It releases on July 25th.
Your burning pyre is your only hope. Don't let them snuff it out. Now go forth in glory, or be banished here forever. Self, but someone worthy of the privilege. You witness now the one way to return to glory. You shall face adversaries whose own freedom is at stake. They fear not the purifying flame.
Number 8, Absolver. Absolver is a very unique game. It's a martial arts focused action RPG being developed by Slowclap, a studio comprised of former Ubisoft Paris employees. It merges single, cooperative, and competitive play within the same world, and you build custom combinations of strikes, parries, and feints, so it looks like there's a lot of depth to the game. Absolver releases on August 29th.
Besides this, prospects can learn other combat styles by choosing a mentor and staying loyal to him or her. Prospects can choose mentors as they meet in the world. Through their loyalty, prospects can learn additional combat styles and use their mentor's combat deck. Steel yourself, dear prospect. Combat instincts may come natural, but refining your combat style and combat deck is key to both basic survival and victory in the lost lands of Adal.
Number 7, .hack GU Last Recode. After a decade, .hack is finally making a comeback stateside, and while .hack GU Last Recode isn't a brand new game, rather it's a compilation of the 3 GU titles remastered on the PlayStation 4. For those of you that don't know, .hack is an RPG that simulates an MMO. It's not an MMO, but that's the setting of the game. Last Recode will feature several refinements, including an added retry function, cheat mode, rebalance avatar battles, and more. Of course, we'll see technical improvements too. .hack GU Last Recode releases sometime in 2017. Number 6, Call of Cthulhu, the official video game. Call of Cthulhu is an RPG survival horror game being developed by Cyanide, who have done the Styx games. It's a semi-open world title that will incorporate elements of psychological horror into the story. It's based on the Call of Cthulhu short story while also being an adaptation of the 1981 RPG. Call of Cthulhu releases late 2017.
Yeah, you're making progress, Margaret. But you must keep studying.
Number 5, Pillars of Eternity Complete Edition. Pillars of Eternity was one of the best RPGs in recent memory. Unfortunately, for a while it's only been available on PC. Well, now that's finally changing as Pillars of Eternity hits the PS4 in the form of the Complete Edition, which includes the base game as well as the White March expansions. The game was great on PC with an engaging story, solid gameplay, and great design. Hopefully the game makes a solid transition over to the PS4 controls. We'll find out soon enough as Pillars of Eternity Complete Edition releases on August 22nd.
Do we choose our fate? Or are we instruments of the gods? You believe you are in control. And I wonder, where will your choices lead us?
Number 4, Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen. Dragon's Dogma was one of the best RPGs on last generation consoles. It was a great game that saw a lot of comparisons to Dark Souls, however it had its own flair that made it excellent. Now it's coming to the PlayStation 4 in the form of Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen, which includes the base game as well as the Dark Arisen expansion. Expect your typical remaster refinements, improved technical performance, which is huge because it didn't run up to par on the PS3. Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen comes later this year. Number 3, South Park The Fractured But Whole. South Park The Fractured But Whole is the follow-up to South Park The Stick of Truth, and before that game was released, few were expecting a South Park game with traditional RPG mechanics to be truly great. But that's exactly what it was. The gameplay was solid, but more importantly, the presentation, humor, and design were on point, and it created a great experience. The Fractured But Whole takes place after the events of The Stick of Truth, and now it's got a superhero theme. South Park The Fractured But Whole releases on October 17th.
3 seasons? 3 seasons!
Crime is out of control in our town. Kuni and friends are this city's only hope. All right, now you need to go out into the town and do superhero stuff. You know, help people and fight crime and dumb shit like that. Well, how's the character sheet coming? I already let you dual class. There's nothing left to talk about. Do not give me those sad puppy eyes. You are not going to have 3 classes.
I've been given $20,000 to take care of you.
What?
But I only need a few hundred for that. So you know what I'm gonna do with all the rest?
Go to Paris to get a pedal enhancement and fuck French chicks? Super Craig.
Number 2, Ninokuni 2 Revenant Kingdom. You can make an argument that Ninokuni Wrath of the White Witch was the best JRPG in the last decade. Level 5 created that great of a game. And now we have the sequel, Ninokuni 2 Revenant Kingdom, which revolves around a former king as he attempts to reclaim his kingdom. The gameplay we've seen thus far has looked excellent, retaining the same great art and sound direction. As long as the story is on par, which it should be, Ninokuni 2 has potential to be one of the best games of the year. It releases on November 10th.
Subject 7.
There is one who brought the world together.
And who was that?
Ferdinand. Mighty Ferdinand.
You will return her to me. So long.
My plan is complete. Your king's bond is mine.
Time to make our pact. Here goes. Hold up the royal twig.
And finally, number 1, Middle-earth: Shadow of War. Many considered Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor to be the first truly excellent game of this generation. Now we have the sequel, Middle-earth: Shadow of War, which is going to build upon the successes of the first game. Technically, the game looks outstanding, and one of the big points of this game was to enable large-scale battles where parts of the battle would be managed by the various followers that the player has recruited. The game was originally to be released in August, however it was pushed back to allow it to be the highest quality experience possible. Fine with us, it releases on October 10th.
Fight for Mordor! You fight for the Bright Lord!
What new devilry is this?
I come for you, Town of Gondor.
Try not to kill him too quickly. The new ring. Our ring is not marred with his shadow. It is perfect.
I strike down men corrupted by these rings. Do not become one of them.
When the time comes, I will do what is needed.
Submit to your destiny. Run to your master and give him this message. I come for him.
So that wraps up our countdown of the top 10 best upcoming PS4 RPGs for the rest of 2017. What do you think? Which RPGs are you the most excited for? Comment your thoughts down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.